It's the happy hour. Yes, it is. Right here, Sirius XM Fly. I'm HB on this Soul Food Thursday where I'm super excited. I was just in here telling everybody when her name popped up and S. Dot says she's available. I was like, yes, absolutely. He was like, well, you don't even know what she's coming for. And I initially thought sports, obviously, but no, she is here to talk about food. I'm talking about the one and only, the legend, Miss Laila Ali is here.
Hey. Thank you.
Laila, thank you. Thank you so much for coming through, and thank you for coming through with this surprise, Food for Life. What is that all about? Because the first thing obviously I saw was delicious and healthy comfort food. I haven't mastered the delicious and healthy part yet of comfort food, so I'm excited about your book.
You mean the healthy part?
Yeah, the healthy part.
Because you can cook, right?
I cook. I cook, and I cook to have fun. I cook for a double reason, I would say, of comfort food. Just because I think food is just that one thing, like music, you know, that brings us all together, and it doesn't matter what's going on with you and what you're dealing with. You know, sometimes over some chicken and the right batch of collard greens, you just be like, I feel better.
Exactly. And that's just the thing. I fell in love with food at a very young age. And then as I got older, you know, because I started cooking about 9-10 years old.
Really?
Yeah, because my mom didn't really cook that much, but I love to eat. I was that kid that would go to people's house and be like, what do you have in your fridge? I was kind of greedy. Yeah, I'm looking back. I'm a mom now, so I'm like, I can imagine when I came over, they're like, oh God, here come that one. You bring that girl over here, it's gonna eat up all our groceries.
Right.
Have a jar of pickles. I'm all through them.
Right.
I mean,
Me too. I love pickles.
So anyway, I got you know, cooking myself and calling my grandma on the phone. How do you make that roux to the gumbo and all those things? But then as I got older and started boxing, I started having to eat for energy, eat for my performance. And that's when I really started learning about the importance of, you know, nutrition. And I started looking at food differently. Like, wow, this is about fueling your body. It's not about just eating because you're hungry and overeating and things like that. And you had to make weight and all these things. And then I had children, and I started trying to figure out, well, how can I be as healthy as I can? Because I'm forming a life in my body. And then, you know, nursing and all those things you learn about organic and non-GMO. And it just kind of went from there. And, you know, you kind of take all that knowledge, and I'm like, wow, you know, so it's really about ingredients and preparation. I still have my oven fried chicken. I still have my greens. I don't use a ham hock. I use the turkey because I just like it with turkey anyway.
Me too.
I didn't grow up eating pork in my house, and my dad's Muslim.
Right.
So you have to give up some things. But then there's those people like, I got to use my ham hock. It's like, okay, well, hey, you pick your poison. Pick your poison. You know what I mean? Because, you know, there's a lot of things out there that aren't good for us. You know,
I was going to talk to you and ask you about that. What would you say that you found to be surprisingly tasty but really healthy for you? Because immediately we hear kale and okra, and he's just like, oh, I just don't want that kind of stuff. You're gonna mess up my whole my yams.
Right. That's funny.
The
The thing is this with kale, like I actually like kale, and kale is like one of those like people feel it's kind of played out, right? Because you hear about it so much, but it is such a good vegetable green. But there's so many other ones too. So like I actually put kale in my greens. Depends on what I find that's fresh. I might go to the farmer's market or the regular market, and I use collards, mustard, kale, you know, turnip greens, whatever. So I like to mix it up, you know. But it's really about the seasoning of the food. But to answer your question, I mean, a lot of these recipes in my book that I'm talking about are amazingly good. But I don't compare. That's one thing about me. Like you have to with people because they're like, okay, I like fried chicken. What you got? But I don't really try to say, oh, this is better than fried chicken. It tastes just as good, if not better. My husband likes it better. Like he'll tell me, you know, I'm a chicken connoisseur. I'm like, babe, that's because you're my husband. He's like, no, I'm telling you, I'm a wing connoisseur. He's like, these wings are better than the fried wings because I think now he's gotten used to not having that greasy taste. Yeah. But his taste buds change. But the wings are falling off the bone. They got all the flavor. You know, what the difference, let me just go ahead and tell you, and I got into it. So with my wings, so for anyone listening who cooks and you fry chicken, you season up the chicken, you dust it in the flour, except I'm going to use, if you have to use flour, you want to use whole wheat. But then if you want to take it to the next level, there's cassava root flour that you can use. You know, there's coconut flour, almond flour, brown rice. There's all these different kinds of flours.
Very true.
Right. But even if you just go to the basic whole wheat flour, that's better than white flour that's been processed. And then you put it on you put your oven up really hot, but you spray it with oil, so it's now doused in the oil. And once you put it in that oven on that hot heat with the oil that you would have been using, except less of it, with a healthier chicken, you know, type of chicken and a healthier flour, it's going to get crispy in that oven, but it's also going to fall off that bone. That flavor is going to marinate. It's bomb.
I'm so hungry right now.
I'm telling you, girl, it's all in the sea. It's good. And people don't even know That it, like you would think, because it has the texture and the look.
Absolutely.
Because some people would say, like I've seen oven fried recipes online, and they'd be like, oh, use cornflakes or use this or use that. And you don't really even need to do all that. I'm saying if you want that, but I like mine to taste like a fried chicken. Like as if the original fried chicken.
Laila Ali is here. She's talking about wheat flour. I try to encourage you guys in the Happy Hour Crew, the Fly family, to start with something new each week. So go pick up wheat flour. Go try it. Test it out a little bit and try to add it to your recipes at least once a week. She's here. She's hanging out though in the Happy Hour. More up next right here on Fly. It's the Happy Hour. Yes, it is right here, Sirius XM Fly. I'm HB with Laila Ali. It all rhymes. She's here hanging out in the Happy Hour with no cocktails because you don't drink.
I do not drink.
Have you never drank alcohol, or you just tasted it and didn't like it?
I just haven't never been into it. It's funny because my parents both didn't drink. My father didn't drink. My mom didn't drink. So I never was around it and introduced to it. It wasn't in the household. And then being that my father was Muslim, people didn't, it's not like they offered it to guests when they came over. So I just wasn't around it. And then by the time I got old enough and tasted it, I was like, oh, that doesn't taste good. And I didn't like the way people started acting,
That's the truth.
So I'm like, I'm good.
It's the brown liquor. Only brown liquor does that to you. It's the brown liquor.
Okay. No, it's not. No. Because anytime, like, I can even go out to dinner with people, they start drinking wine and people loosen up. And I get why they drink it. But when you're the only one that doesn't drink, you really can see. And I was like, I don't know if you want me to get loose because I might start saying some things.
It's true. It's true.
I already said what's on my mind. You don't really want me to go.
They say it's the truth serum. The alcohol is that truth serum. People start coming out, getting in trouble. She's here, though, talking about her new book, Food for Life, which I absolutely love. People ask me a lot because I do cook. I'm a home cook, far from a chef. Do you use cookbooks? Absolutely. I love finding new things. I think that's the thing about cooking, and it's sparking that curiosity. Well, let me try this. I've never heard of that. And when I saw your book and just opening up, smoky shrimp Cobb salad with citrus dressing. For everybody who swears they hate salad, like when you see this smoky shrimp Cobb, what made you decide to put all of this together?
You know what? It's funny because I had a lot of recipes that I've been cooking over the years, but I didn't have enough to fill up a whole cookbook because you need 100 or more recipes, right? So some of them, yeah. I mean, if you want to have a cookbook worth buying, you're not gonna put 20 recipes and 40 recipes. True. So the thing is I had to, and then you also want to have a variety of foods, right? Not just what I eat. So to make it balanced, okay? Because I don't normally use recipes myself. I kind of just throw together what's on hand, and that's how I cook, taste, and feel, right? So when I was putting the cookbook together with the writer that wrote the book, because I don't write recipes,
right?
So I would never got it done, girl. I'm not organized enough to sit up there and be writing recipes.
No, me either.
So
I get it.
what I did to answer your question is, I said, you know what? I want to do a Cobb salad. I want to do it with shrimp. I want to do it with some turkey bacon in there and make it flavorful and make you really feel like you just had a full meal. And that's what that Cobb salad is. And then really inspiring people to make their own fresh dressings, because it's so much easier than you think, and it tastes so good. I mean, I still buy dressing. Don't get me wrong, even though I do make fresh dressing. But sometimes I'm traveling. My husband's there, but I try to pick ones with without all the additives. But yeah, I started really working with dressings also over the last maybe 6 years, and it's amazing what you can make simply with just what you have on hand.
It's so good, and it lasts a really long time. You appreciate it. You could taste the difference in the flavors using really good olive oil, using fresh lemon, using just something simple as kosher salt and black pepper.
Exactly.
And you taste
and
it.
Even if you have onion powder, garlic powder, even if you don't have the fresh chives, or you don't have all that, you could just put it together. It still tastes good.
You mentioned travel, and being a woman that has to travel a lot in business and everything. How do you sustain your shape and eating right on the road?
You know what? I've come to find ways to make it work. So anywhere I go, no matter where I eat, okay, I can find something to eat. So I'll be like, okay, let me find, some chicken or some fish or whatever, even if I want to have beef that day, but it's really all in the preparation. So I'm trying to get it grilled without a lot of sauce, a lot of additives, because that's where the hidden calories are. Sometimes now, like say if you went to the Cheesecake Factory and you look at the calories on some of the food, you're like, whoa, how'd you get 2,500 calories in a salad? You know what I'm saying? But really it's the portion too. Like it's a really enough food for 4 people on the plate. So what I do is I remember that, okay, I'm going to have a fresh salad. Most of the time I always try to order a green fresh salad because it has enzymes in it that's going to help you digest the food that you eat. So that's one thing. Then I'll take my meal and I'll eat eat the whole, like if I give you a big old serving, you know, you don't want to eat till your stomach gets full, to where you get that full feeling, because then you really have eaten too much. You're just supposed to satisfy your hunger, move on to your next meal, you know. But when you sit down, and like that's the thing about not eating all day, and when people want to have one meal, then that's when you go for broke, and you're just like, ugh, you get that feeling like I need to undo my pants. You did too much.
And find a bed.
Yeah, and then people think they're hungry because they don't have that feeling. Then they start searching out that feeling all the time. And really, that's not what it's supposed to be, because you're weighed down, you're lethargic. And then the energy that your brain needs to function starts taking the energy goes to digestion, to digest that food. So that's when you get tired. You know, so if you're someone who needs to be on the go and you need to be, you know, keep that ambition going and you got a lot to do, you don't want to get that weighed down feeling.
The food is actually fueling your body. Learn more. Laila Ali is here. Laila Ali. I'm sorry, I'm saying Laila. Laila Ali is here.
I like that name too.
Yeah, it's a
cute.
pretty name. Yeah, pretty name. She's here. We're talking about her book, Food for Life. She's giving us some tips. More up next. It's the happy hour. Yes, it is right here, Sirius XM Fly. I'm HB. She is here. I've been talking about all week. She was coming for Soul Food Thursday. I'm talking about Laila Ali. We're talking about food. We're talking about tips, because I think that's important. And we're talking about your book, because I think food education is important. I think the older that you get, you need to start learning about what you're eating. And cookbooks have taught me that. I don't necessarily follow recipes to the T in cookbooks because it's hard. A lot of times, just being honest, like, you don't have this. You never even heard of it before. It's like, what is this? And what is this utensil? I don't have that. And I'm not spending $35 at Williams and Sonoma to go Williams and Sonoma to do. So it's kind of that too. So you have to keep your budget in mind a lot of times when you're cooking. But what I loved about your book, something simple as a burger. You know, people just screw it up all the time. No, they do. Like, they just trying to do too much. You know what I mean? Just trying to do too much of the burger. And you flip open her book and it's there. The beef, the Worcestershire sauce, like I like to say, Worcestershire sauce, onion powder, sea salt, black pepper, a good bun, onions, and then cheese. I wanted to ask you, because I'm a cheese freak, what is your go-to cheese? Just if you're chilling and you just need something good, you're doing that burger, you're doing that omelet, you're doing that mac and cheese. What is your go-to cheese?
I like to mix it up. That's the thing. But my kids like American or cheddar.
Really?
And I go kind of with what they like, because I don't want to hear it. Like, you know what I mean? But I like provolone. I like Jack. I like it like kind of mild. You know what I'm saying? But I can even do a burger without cheese.
Really?
Yeah. I can do it. Yeah, I just love it. I love a good, in my house, we have burger patties pretty often. And a lot of times my husband, this one, when I tell you a go-to for my husband, he's a happy man and I always have it on hand, is I'll make the burgers, patties. A lot of times it's with ground turkey.
Okay.
And then rice and beans. He loves that. He'll eat that anytime. Pinto beans. Yes. I have pinto beans on hand, organic canned pinto beans.
Right.
Because like if I come home and I'm in a rush and I'm just like, okay, boop, that's my go-to. And everybody loves it. Everybody's happy. But so we don't, you know, so I eat burgers just with the lettuce wrap, you know, the California way. Sometimes like it's like no bun, just lettuce wrap. You know, I'm good. Wrap. Like I like it. Or I might do one bun, because too much breading for me is a lot.
It's a lot.
But in the book, I was inspired to put this burger because I call it the greatest of all time burger, because my father used to love hamburgers. When we were kids, he used to pick me up from school, take me to the burger joint, and he used to always order his burger the same way. And then that's what inspired me to make an upgraded version of it, you know, using the grass-fed meat and the whole wheat bun. He didn't order it like that. They weren't using it. But I remember tasting that burger and the meat had flavor, because a lot of times you eat out and they don't put any flavor in the meat.
Nothing.
Yeah. And some people like that though. They're like, I want to taste the flavor of the meat. And I'm like, I'm good. I want to taste it, but with a little salt, a little onion powder, a little, you know, Worcestershire, like you said. Yeah. So, you know, everyone has their thing. But what you were saying about recipes, I don't like following recipes to the T either. A lot of times I'll look at it, but we can do that because we cook. Not everybody does. Some people want a recipe to the T, but I like to just look at it and say, oh, that's in there. Well, I'm gonna add a little of this, do a little of that, and I get the gist of it. And then a lot of times I take recipes and make them my own. And that's what I'm encouraging people to do, because a lot of people out there can cook, and I'm sure they can show me some things, and I love it, because you might have something you're good at, like, you know, and I have something I'm good at.
Absolutely.
Like I wouldn't enter a contest with my mac and cheese. I love it, and I found ways to add nutrition to it, but I'm not gonna be like, I'm killing everybody with my mac and cheese.
How do you add nutrition to mac and cheese?
So I have a secret white sauce that I use. So with the kids especially, like they don't want to always eat their vegetables. So I have two sauces that I give recipes to, a red and a white. And in that white sauce, there's cauliflower, there's zucchini. What I do is I roast it. So, you know, and roast it down and then put it in the blender, and now it becomes a puree.
Yep.
And then you can't even really taste it. And then you put it into the mac and cheese, you know, or you can bake with it or whatever. Sometimes I throw white bean in there, so the color's white, so you have to use certain vegetables. The red sauce you could do a bit more because there is red pepper, tomato, you know, garlic, onion, celery, whatever you want to put in there, but it's mild. So if I'm making spaghetti, you know, even if I don't make a fresh sauce, I'm going to take my sauce, add it with the spaghetti sauce just to upgrade that nutrition. And then when you make it, you freeze it, it's ready, and then you feel good about what you're giving your family. So
that's a good tip. Thank you. And my tip too, I always try to tell people, I used to spend a fortune on cheese, making mac and cheese, but my mom was like, what are you doing? Just go to the deli counter, ask the deli guy for the cheese ends, and they have whole bunches pails of cheese ends that they sell you for $2.99 a pound, and you get mozzarella, you get Swiss, you get cheddar.
I didn't even know that. See what I'm saying?
We just sharing tips, girl. Laila Ali is here hanging out talking about her book. We'll be wrapping it up next. Laila Ali is here hanging out in the happy hour. Her new book, Food for Life. You can get it now. Sway and I, you know, I do the morning show with Sway as his co-host. And Sway and I were talking about you this morning and just complimenting your family and your legacy and your father's legacy and the history. And I'm actually wearing my Ali leggings.
Oh, you sure are?
My Cute. Under Armour Ali
I don't even
leggings.
have those.
Yeah.
Come on now. I'm about to call them up.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
and talking about just the greatest of all time, because you mentioned the goat burger. What are your thoughts then, looking years and years later from everything that your father's done, when you see a Colin Kaepernick and you see the images that he's pretty much borrowed, not in a bad way, obviously, with him and all the children with the dashiki on and just different things your father have done. What, as you know, that being your father, what do you think when you see some of the images?
It's amazing. I'm not surprised. You know, I've seen him touch the lives and inspire so many people, so much so that other people call themselves the GOAT. You know what I mean? Where that term, that one thing about my dad is he would have never came behind anybody else calling himself the GOAT. You know, you would have never seen that.
He would have been already got that
GOAT.
name.
He would have never, he would have. So that'll let you know right there you ain't really like my dad. But I will say that Colin Kaepernick, I have been impressed with him from the very beginning, because we all know, without even going all into it, what it takes to take that type of stand and how his life was going to change in terms of his endorsements and all that. And he had to make a decision within himself that he was ready to do that. You know, and everybody can do their part in their own way. Everyone doesn't have to be Muhammad Ali. Everyone doesn't have to be Colin Kaepernick. But I love that he's continued on. It wasn't that one thing. It's like, this is what he really wants to do. And you know that he's put some thought behind it, and he was just waiting for that moment, really. And sometimes things happen in life that make you put you over there. It's like, okay, I'm about to do this. And I think that it's great that he obviously has done his research, and, you know, he probably knows more my dad's story than I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know, I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. I never try to compare people to my father. But I think at the same time, it's wonderful that he's been inspired by him.
I love you, sis, and I support you so much.
you.
You have no idea. I've been in your corner for so long. Just
thank you.
I'm excited about this day, and it's so funny. On my spirit, it's just been, and you keep saying the word comparison, and this quote came to me this morning, just reminded me. I don't know why, but it was just like, comparison is the thief of joy. Stop comparing yourself to people. Don't worry about what other people are doing. It takes away from your little small accomplishments and the little things that God is trying to show you, and the little blessings that you have in your life. If you're constantly looking over somebody else's shoulder and looking on somebody else's Instagram and everything that they're doing, you competing and comparing. So thank you for that confirmation, just from me to you.
It is. And I feel the love.
And
I feel the love from you. That's why I listen to you, and you're like a real authentic sister, and you don't find that often. So I'm happy that you have this platform. I love listening to, no, for real. And the thing is that I hate that. I hate that we're always comparing. I hate that somebody can't do something good, and then people say, but he didn't do it like Muhammad Ali. And it doesn't matter. First of all, no one's going to be Muhammad Ali. So let's just not even, even when I started boxing, people started don't compare me to my father. First of all, I don't want to be my father. I want to be me. That alone lets you know how much like him I am, because he wouldn't want to be like anybody else. This is my life, my path. And I told it to him too. When I wanted to box, I was like, this is my road. I love you. You know what I mean? But this is the life I have to live for myself. And he respected that ultimately. But it's like, we have to stop trying to break each other down all the time. And I get tired of being asked certain questions all the time, you know, about certain things, because people always want to just get your opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Just do something, even if it's small and it's your own community. If you're teaching your children so they can go out into the world and make a difference, if you can help mentor a child, you know, if you can, I take it very seriously, my image, because you don't see me walking around half naked, cleavage out, because I don't want little girls to see me and think that's what they have to do. I don't want little girls to think that people have to say, "Oh, you got booty," or none of that. You know, I get it. A lot of women, unfortunately, that's where they find their worth now. How many likes they can get on Instagram, who has the biggest booty, to the point where they're buying it. And it's like, really? Love yourself, be yourself. All that stuff isn't real. That's not what's important, you know? So it's like, I take pride in and I do, you know, feel the responsibility, but this is who I am as a person, so it makes it easy for me to do, and I know this is who you are, so it makes your job easy, because you could just come be yourself, and you don't have that pressure of trying to own up to anything or be like anyone else. So thank you so much. I appreciate you and this platform that you have, and like I'm a big fan. So
I'm a big fan of yours. I'm in your corner. Food for Life. Get the book. This is a double entendre. I'm trying to tell you guys, there are recipes in here for your kitchen, but these are recipes for your soul too, and recipes for life. So buy the book. When she go out on her speaking tour, buy a ticket for that too. I love you. Seriously.
Thank you. I
you
love
don't
you
even
too.
know, man.
We're gonna cook together.
We're gonna cook together.
And I'll even sip a drink, girl.
Little champagne.
Yeah. No. I can have. I mean, that's not my thing, but if it tastes good, I'm gonna taste it. We can
hook it up.
Oh yeah, I'm in control of myself, so
we'll
we can do that
wine
thing.
sauce.
Yes.
And then that way we could kill two birds with one stone. All right.